Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It's Sunday, May 7th, and we are here trying to help you make sense of whatever's going on in the larger economic world, but more specifically, to really help you walk through different decisions you make throughout your whole life. And often big decisions have financial implications. And if that's something that you're thinking about, we'd love to assist you. Just go to jillonmoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and let us know if you'd be willing to come on the air. While you're on the website, check out all the great free content, our other podcasts. There's a radio show, the blog, resources, video, and our free weekly newsletter right there at jillonmoney.com. Today, we are talking to Adam, who's on the line from Boston.
Thank you so much for having me on. I just wanted to get a sense of, I sent you an email with plenty of details, I hope, and just trying to get a sense of our financial situation. My wife and I, we recently had a baby, so our situation has changed, and want to, just make sure that there's nothing aside from life insurance and wills that we know we need, because I listened to you.
So you wrote to me and you said that you and your wife make about $220,000 a year together. You got some real estate. So you both own studios and now you rent them out, and you've got another new place. So where you're living right now, what is the value of that place?
Like 700,000.
And a mortgage outstanding?
Like 540.
Right now, with the two other properties that you both came into the marriage with, right? These other properties that you're renting, they're covering their expenses basically? Or is one like a moneymaker and one a loser? How does it shake out?
One is making money, and the other one is covering all expenses, truly, including taxes, condo fees, and even maybe a couple $100 a month for turnover and things like that. So I don't consider that a profit, but it's nonetheless covering expenses. And that one, I have a mortgage about $300,000 on it at 4%. It's valued at like $411,000.
Okay. And the other one, how does that look in terms of the financing?
It's considered a co-op. So the financing was kind of weird. So we owe $90,000 on that one and it's at like 5%. And the conservative value on that one would be like $350,000. And that one is netting, about $1,000 a month.
All right. So not a big impetus to do anything with that necessarily. But do you think you're going to keep these as rentals? Do you think that we're going to eventually sell them? This is like our beautiful summer home on the Cape, or I'm making this up. But what's the intention?
It would have to be something like that to motivate us to unload them at this point. Otherwise, you don't see a good reason to, and maybe keep it as part of our who knows, retirement portfolio, if you will. I've kind of justified the only contributing 10% of my employer 401k and then maxing out my Roth every year. I've justified that by having this kind of as part of my projected retirement.
Okay. So right now, retirement accounts, just give me a ballpark about how much money you guys have saved and how much are you putting in? You said you're putting in a bunch of money, but you're not maxing them out. My
wife is maxing out her just as of, recently, and I am putting 10% in mine, and I have $137,000 in a TSP account, partially in a target date, and then the rest in the S fund or
the C fund, the S fund, right?
And then I have about 95,000 in a Vanguard Roth IRA.
Okay, that's great. You said thrift savings plan. So are you going to be entitled to a pension?
Yes.
Oh, I like that. That's another reason why I'm not going to freak out on you about not maxing your retirement accounts. It sounds like you're putting a lot of money away. When you first sent us an email, you wrote, "But do I need an advisor?" As I go through and hear you talk about this, I don't think you need an advisor at all. I mean, I think you are doing great in terms of putting money away. I love the idea that you guys are, essentially, not 100% maxing out, but you're pretty close to maxing out retirement. The rentals, I mean, look, you're there. You're not like you're managing a property 3,000 miles away. Nothing is costing you money. It'll become a pain in the neck at some point, I presume, or it'll make so much money that you're like, I'll hire a manager for this. Life's going to probably take precedence. Did you open up a 529 plan?
Yeah, we did, and contributed the $2,000. Massachusetts has a state tax credit up to $2,000. So that's what we put in for this year.
I think it's great. That's fantastic. So I'm going to give you a few little thoughts. Before we got on the air, you said you'd done your wills and your insurance and all that. So I'm just going to pat you on the head, or you haven't.
I think we're underinsured. So we each have replacement in like 1 year's replacement life insurance. But I know that we're probably a little underinsured.
Given the amount of money you have and you have real estate, I know you have assets, but you're also young, you're 35. Go see what $1 million 20-year term life insurance costs. It's like bupkis. It's not that expensive. And I would just get it. You're both healthy. Just get it. That's all you need. And you're going to be fine. And the wills, you said were done?
No, we got to do that.
Oh my God, listen to the shame that has happened. Mark, I didn't even shame him, and he shamed himself. He's like, no.
In this situation, I know that usually you recommend spending the money and going to a lawyer or whatever to have something written up. But sometimes, one of those online services are okay.
Look, I think, could you do an online service? Just go and you can get started. Go to policygenius.com and go through their module and see if it says it bumps you out, because it may bump you out and say, hey, you know what, you have too many assets or it's too complicated. At the very least, just do that. You're home. And then get your asses in gear and get an attorney.
One other thing that came up while we were going through our assets, and we had talked about, I knew about, but rediscovered that my wife has like $73,000 with Lincoln Financial Group that was, invested, I guess, on her behalf by her parents. It's in her name. My thought is, or my sense is, that we should do something with that. For one, it was really difficult to log into the site. So that's reason enough for me to also to maybe bring it over to one of the either Fidelity or Vanguard where we're currently.
Yeah, I would definitely do that. I mean, consolidation works. If it's Lincoln Financial, just be sure to check out what kind of an account it is. It could be an annuity, which means that to move it out will potentially cause a tax event. If it's just straight up mutual funds and it's taxable, fine. But if it's a non-qualified annuity that someone put in her name, then the money that you pull out of the contract might be taxable. The difference between what was put in and what the value is now is all ordinary income. And you should know that. I'm not saying you should keep it in there, but you got to just know it going in.
Well, that's good, because I think that's what it is, because I couldn't find the damn fund when I was on the website. I did finally log in once, and I just didn't have the bandwidth to get back over to try to do that. But I think that's probably what is going on there. So
here's your problem. That just so I will help you know that what's going to happen is someone threw some money into an annuity. If you have a statement, I know this is like way old school, call. And then you say, what is the tax event if I surrender this annuity? Number one, is there any fee to get out? And number two, what taxes would I have to pay? So you want to know what the cost basis is, and then what is the value today? And it's not long-term capital gains. It's ordinary income. So any money that has been earned since the moment it was invested to when she takes it out, that's all ordinary income that just adds to your taxable income. I mean, it still may be worth it to do it because it's probably an expensive and crappy product, but just to know that. And then one last thing that before I let you go, I don't think you need target date funds. I just think that, you kind of want to replicate what you're doing in your thrift savings plan everywhere else, just like a broad stock market index, a broad bond market index. Maybe you want to do an international or a small cap, something a little different, but you got enough money now that you can start allocating this yourself.
Got it.
Good?
Good. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
If you have something going on in your financial life or in your real life and it has to touch your money in some way, give us a holler. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and do let us know if you'd like to come on the air. And if you want a little bit more of us, we've got a lot of other stuff on the website, as well as our brand new service, Jill on Money Live, which grants you access to quarterly live webinars and other special content. We just did a great interview with Gina Smilik from the New York Times, all about the Federal Reserve. We got all that information ahead of the release of the big Fed report on Silicon Valley Bank and ahead of the failure of First Republic Bank. It was so great to have that extra information. I know it helped me in reporting, so that was good. All right. We're very grateful that you listen every single day. We really do appreciate it. Maybe you're putting your hands metaphorically on our back. We're going to go right back to you and do the same. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow.